Howdy, howdy, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's having a good one here. We got Q4 in full swing. I know I've been seeing some awesome results from a lot of you guys so far. Couple people I know I can think of that were really taking things seriously, kind of getting started this summer, locking in, already hitting. I saw a couple of you guys hitting $10,000 months, multiple thousands of units going out, all that kind of stuff. So super exciting to see all of the progress so far. Q4 has been pretty good for me so far as well. Seems like competition's down on a lot of products just from what I've seen and talking to other people. So definitely a lot of opportunity to get after this time of year. And yeah, I'm just going live for 30 minutes or so to answer your questions for Boxom office hours. As a reminder, we're live every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, as well as Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern and Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it's a good day to be kind of getting after it. So as you guys are popping in, let me know what specific questions you guys have when it comes to selling on Amazon or just business in general. Or you just want to yap. Let me know what you guys are running into as far as your business goes today. It's good to see everybody. Sweet. What's up, Dan? He said you're a UKSR about to start in the US. Any tips on leads groups? Yeah, it's a good place to be getting going, man. I wouldn't mess with like leads lists or anything like that though. Especially if you've been selling for 8 years, man. Like you know how to source. The only thing that's going to change is where you're buying stuff from, right? So just apply the same kind of principles and all that. In terms of like buying leads lists, nothing's going to stay profitable just because if a lead is fed to 20 people and like they just can't, like simple market dynamics, if 20 people all hop on all at the same time, it's probably not going to stay super profitable. You can look at one for like kind of showing you what might be good to source. So hey, there's a sale on this website, but I wouldn't necessarily buy anything if you're buying from a like from a leads list. I wouldn't buy any of the actual products that are on there. What's up, Finesse? He said, if you don't have an LLC, how can you find some wholesale products to sell? You're not going to be doing wholesale if you don't have like any kind of actual business structure. But that's fine. Like you don't really want to start with wholesale anyways. You want to start with arbitrage. So start hitting like local retail stores, hit clearance sections of your favorite websites, that kind of thing. It's a lot simpler to get going that way and a lot lower risk as well. You definitely can do wholesale later on, but it's not what I run my business through, and it's definitely not what you should do right away. Same as like private label. There's lots of different good ways to make money on Amazon, but those are not the good ones. Like when you're getting started. What's up, Casey? Are you selling as consistently as you seem to be? Yeah. I mean, I post my sales pretty often, Casey. Like so you can see I'm actually doing this stuff. But yeah, for sure. We're doing anywhere from like $6,000 to $10,000 a day right now during like the really fun part of Q4. It's honestly down from previous years, but focusing on obviously making sure profit is a lot higher rather than worrying about what the revenue says. Revenue does not pay the bills at the end of the day. So as long as profit's going up, that's what I'm focused on. Let's see. What are the questions you guys got here? Let's see. How do 2D barcodes speed up the check-in? Yeah, so it's just part of how 2D barcodes work. When you're making a shipment on Boxom, you'll have the option to have those 2D barcodes. And then the way that they're scanned in at the warehouse, it gets a little bit faster. You can also use on Boxom, you can use the optimized shipping option. And you can end up shipping things to 5 different warehouses with $0 in placement fees. And that'll also typically have you making sales a little bit faster because you're shipping to 5 warehouses that can ship it off all at once. So would you have to get ungated? Most brands will require ungating, yeah, but that's a good thing. Like you don't want to sell a bunch of brands that anyone can just start randomly listing at any point, right? Like you want some kind of barrier that keeps people from selling fake products on your listings, and you can just buy from any like legit website or wholesaler, local retailer, that kind of thing. As long as you're not buying from some sketchy supplier on Instagram or Telegram or one of those, like you'll be good to go. What's up, Dan? Starting with 8OA and OA. Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. If you've been doing it for 8 years, then like your skill set's going to very nicely translate. It's really not that different. It's just different websites. I'm sure you've seen that before. Let's see. Do you need a credit card to sell on Amazon? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need one in case you ever like had more fees than you actually sold on Amazon. I can only see that being a thing in the first month. Like if you buy some shipping to ship stuff into Amazon and then it hasn't sold yet, then it might charge your credit card. But in after that, it's just gonna charge your account balance for the things that you've sold. So, if you sell $1,000 and you buy $20 for the shipping, it's just gonna negate from what you sold rather than like charging you directly. Absolutely. Sweet. Let me know what other questions you guys got here. Let's see. What do you sell? Anything that's profitable is the short answer. I actually made a video today on YouTube posting like 4 or 5 examples of specific products that are profitable, that you could look into selling. I wouldn't actually sell those exact products because now they're on YouTube, but just so you can see like some examples of what products are good to sell. And then I also broke down how I source those products, so you can kind of replicate that for yourself. And that's just free on YouTube. So I know some of you guys are on YouTube right now. If you guys are on TikTok and stuff, you can check out that video for free on YouTube. Just go to Fields of Profit on YouTube. Let's see. Do you need a course or can you start with free info? I mean, if you like, we have a course, we have a paid community. You're going to scale faster if you join a good paid community. Obviously, that's not true of all communities, but you can definitely learn for free as well. I learned the most of my business for free. But if I was, anytime I start new business ideas and that kind of stuff now, I always invest in the money that I've already made successfully as an entrepreneur to make the next step easier, right? And that's not always just like info. It's usually like software and just things that speed up your learning process. If you don't have very much money, you got to figure out how to spend time to make the money. If you have money, then you need to figure out how to spend that money to save yourself some time, right? So that's kind of how you should look at it, basically. Let's see. When you have an LLC, do you have to post it in the newspaper? I think that is actually still a requirement in some states. Like I'm pretty sure New York is still like that. It's one of those like weird LLC requirements that are still around. I didn't have to do that though. But I do think that's funny. What's the channel so you can watch the videos? Yeah, just Fields of Profit. And for all you guys, there's also a free course. So if you're on TikTok, there's a free course in my bio. If you guys are anywhere else, you can get on here and check it out. It's a few hours of content, free Discord, that kind of thing. Makes no sense. Yeah, it's weird that you gotta like, it's almost like having like the town crier back in the day, like, hey, this guy wants to start an LLC, right? It's very funny. It's like an antiquated thing. When does Amazon send payments? You've sold some products recently, but they haven't sent you the revenue yet. Yeah, so you'll get paid 2 weeks after you make the sale, typically. There's a 2-week rolling payout period. And when you're a new seller, you get paid every 2 weeks. After you've been selling for a while, you get paid every day. But there's always a 2-week lag in case something you sold needs to be like returned, or just in case they need that money to cover something else. Then you'll get paid after 2 weeks after you make the sale, basically. What's up? You said you did 400K last 30 days, all FBM. That's what's up, man. That's awesome. You've got my last 30 days beat for sure. I love seeing stuff like that. So you're doing OA. A lot of your toys are at risk of removal because of safety issues. To be honest, I never even worry about those. They just kind of sort themselves out. For sure. Have you looked into reselling RAM? Are you talking about like the computer component? Because you could. I don't know if I haven't sold too much like computer type products, just because what I tend to sell are things where you can source from lots of different places. So let's use like a Nature Made vitamin for an example, right? That brand is sold on 5-10 big different websites, and all those websites compete with each other on pricing. So that's what typically makes the opportunity, is when a certain brand is sold multiple places and then they're competing, running coupon sales to the point where, oh, it's selling for a lot more on Amazon now. You can buy it during that like limited window and sell a lot of it on Amazon, basically. For sure. You can scroll through everything, Mike, if you're really going to be a hater, man. Let's see. Do you need an LLC, or I can tell you all the requirements? You don't need an LLC to start. It's generally smart. You can talk to a CPA about like the logistics of that for you. I didn't have one when I started. I was like a broke college kid though. So it's really up to your personal situation there. Let's see. When getting ungated, is it safe to use your personal address if you don't have a business address? Yeah, that's probably just going to be what your business address is anyway. You can use like a UPS box or something like that if you want to base your company out of not your actual address. Or like a virtual address is another one that some people will take advantage of. How long did it take you to get to this point? So I've been selling Amazon for 6 or 7 years at this point. And yeah, started with like $1,000 that I had made working at Walgreens in high school. It's kind of how I made money all through college. And then when I graduated college, I was already making six figures in profit on Amazon. So just the degree's been a backup at this point. So yeah, that's kind of how I've been getting after it. Is there a done for you Amazon program, or do you teach? So 99.9% of done for you Amazon is a scam. They'll charge like $20,000. They'll list a product on your account that they're drop shipping from a retailer to Amazon customers. It might work for a month or two. You make a little bit of money, and then your account gets banned. So if you ever see like Amazon done for you, those are I haven't seen one that's not a scam. Somebody can prove me wrong, but everything like that I've seen is a scam. Best way of going about it is just realizing that you're going to have to do some work to make money. But if you want to make money with a little bit less effort, you can definitely still take advantage of like hiring things out. And like this is what I do. So I hire out all the prep work to a prep center, so I don't have to like ship anything myself. And I also hire out the sourcing and purchasing to virtual assistants. Those are obviously like people that I've trained and hired. So it's like running a real company. But kind of long term, you don't have to be doing everything yourself. But there's no such thing as like a business that you can just buy out of a box and it runs everything for you. Yeah. Let's see. How many leads per week do you need to keep the business profitable? It's like not a great way of looking at it. It's more about it's more about how much money can you spend profitably every month. That's going to be the best predictor of your future growth. So let's say you want to sell $10,000 on Amazon. Based on average return rates for OA sellers, resellers, basically, you're going to need to spend about $5,000 on products, and keep that going on a revolving basis, basically. Yeah, good. Basically, that's like a good rule of thumb. Anything you want to sell on Amazon profitably, buy it for half or less of what you're planning on selling it for. And in terms of like actively sourcing those products and all that good stuff, you just need to dive into like some free videos that'll show you how to do it. So if you guys are on TikTok, there's a free course up here. If you guys are on YouTube or Facebook, there'll be a link down here for the free course. There's also a free Discord and some other resources. There's a list of like 100 places I like to source products from. Like try to make kind of the ultimate starter kit for you guys there. I got a bunch of questions on how to start, so just do that all together. Let's see. If you have $50,000 in capital, is there a better way to be more profitable? I mean, first of all, keep doing whatever you're doing to have $50,000 saved these days. So good for you on that. But if you're starting a business with a lot of money, then you should kind of invest in fast tracking your growth, right? So it makes sense for you to invest in paid help. It makes sense for you to get like the more powerful softwares and that kind of stuff right away. It doesn't necessarily make you more profitable just by having more money to start, though. So yeah, I mean, there's no real way to like, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of money that they want to invest in Amazon. There's not a lot of people who are going the extra mile and learning everything they possibly can to squeeze out that edge, right? It's not about spending a bunch of money, in terms of just like sheer dollars to profitability. What's up? Dice said started with the course in January, turned it into a full-time gig. That's what's up, man. I know I've been seeing you in the community and all that kind of stuff. Congrats, man. So Dice, you quit the job, going full-time as a reseller. That's awesome, man. I love hearing stuff like that. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Can you buy return pallets and resell those on Amazon? So not on Amazon. Just because whenever you buy stuff that you want to sell on Amazon, you need to have a solid invoice that shows what you actually bought. Because let's say you buy a returns pallet and it's got a whole bunch of random stuff in it. You have no proof as far as Amazon's concerned, that you bought that exact item that they might want to see a receipt for. Let's say a customer thinks that it was like a fake product or something. If you bought a returns pallet, you don't have an invoice that says, hey, they bought 10 Columbia jackets. It just says they bought a pallet full of junk, right? So you have no way to prove what you're buying. And that kind of goes into Christopher's asking about like Section 3 reviews and just like account health in general. When you get those requests, you'll get those requests. Customer, like I said, they're gonna, a picky customer thinks you're sending something fake, or you get a bad feedback, that kind of thing. Amazon's gonna send you an email occasionally and be like, hey, we need proof that you're buying real items, right? They're trying to keep the platform safe. So when that happens, you'll just download your invoices from like the email receipts and that kind of stuff that you're getting. And I've done this several times. It's definitely like not the most fun thing to do, but you're definitely good to stay on the platform buying from retailers and all that good stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, great questions, good energy today. If you guys want to learn all this stuff for free, again, if you're on TikTok, I see a bunch of you guys are in here today. There's a free course up in my bio, and then everybody else keep the questions rolling. Good vibes today. See, can you send out an FBA shipment in Target logo boxes? Yeah, you can send FBA shipments in whatever you want. The only exception, like fun fact for you, is you can't use boxes that have like liquor or like beer branding on it. You can't use a beer box. You can't use like that kind of stuff. That's the only restriction when it comes to what you can send things to FBA in. Usually for FBA shipments, I'll just reuse the boxes that they sent me if they're like big enough. As long as you can get 50 pounds in each box, that's usually going to give you the best shipping rate. For sure. What's up, man? Have they sent you the plaque yet? So yeah, I actually they sent me an email. They asked for the info today, so they're working on shipping out the 100K YouTube plaque. I'm excited. Only I just said the course is free, man. So that's not exactly what's going on here, man. Sweet. Let me know what other questions you guys got here. Let's see. What are your best selling products? Do you have recommendations on what to start with? My best products will change depending on the time of year. And to be honest, right now, probably the best thing will be like a clothing item or something like that. I tend to sell a ton of different products, maybe 50 of this, 100 of this, 200 of this. So especially recently, I can't think of anything that has been like a $50,000 item. I like kind of hitting as many of those like smaller wins as possible, builds more consistency. But for me, it's anything that's profitable as far as like category wise. If you're looking at like a starting point, if you have personal interest in any particular niche, let's say maybe you're a golfer or something like that, right? You might know what golf brands are popular, where to find the best sales on those things and so on, right? So that could be a good place for you to start. Or let's say you're into doing like your makeup, you probably know similar information, you know where to get makeup on sale, you know what brands are popular. If you don't have something like that, it doesn't really matter. You can just start reverse sourcing is like the technical term. You're just looking at what's already working for other resellers, and kind of going off that. And to do that, you'll just dive in on SellerAmp reverse sourcing. For those of you guys that like want something to Google there. Let's see, is $500 enough to start with? Not for reselling. I had like $1,000 when I started, like $1,500, and so I started selling used books because they're a lot cheaper. It just takes a lot more effort because like with used books, and I was selling anything when I was getting started. But you can only buy one at a time, right? Like if you find I would sell a lot of VCR players and like random stuff like that. It's hard to scale that, but it's really cheap to do that. Yeah, and then you can obviously turn that money that you made, hustling into stuff where buying name brand stuff. You're buying 50 bottles of vitamins and that kind of thing. For sure. What's the free course cover? Kind of how to get ungated, source products, what software you need, all that good stuff. It's free, so you might as well watch it there. See, what app do you use to figure out if a product will be profitable? SellerAmp, yeah. SellerAmp will be good to go there. I know I'm slacking overkill. Definitely lots of people crushing it out there. All right, man. What are you selling recently? Are you just here to hate, or are you being genuine? Curious if you're actually selling on Amazon. Can you start with 20? Not if it's $20 straight up. If it's 20 grand, then definitely. For sure. Do you see any buy box changes? Not exactly sure what you mean, Christopher, but as far as like winning sales, winning the buy box, the most important things by far are just making sure your price is at or very close to the existing price that's winning sales, and then making sure your shipping speed is good. So typically is going to be FBA sellers. Used books got nuked. Yeah, I don't really sell too many used books anymore. I know it got a little bit harder. I'm just, it's kind of an example. Yeah, not super focused on that. I sell like name brand stuff now. Do you only do online arbitrage? It's like 95% of my business. Yeah, every now and then I'll hop on a wholesale order if a friend cuts me in, that kind of thing. But I'm not actively doing like wholesale outreach and all that good stuff. Just focused on kind of building a system of buying and reselling stuff from websites, making that as easy as possible. See, sending your first box of products to Amazon in 5 years. Thanks for the inspo. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Glad you're back at it. Do you need a reseller's permit or a seller certificate? If you do have a resale permit, you can save sales tax when you're shopping. Although just keep in mind that there's not a ton of websites that will accept that resale permit. Things like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot do, but for the most part, if you want to avoid sales tax when you're doing OA, you'll just ship it to a prep center in a state with no sales tax. What up, Steve? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'm chasing your tail on the fitness train. Let's see. What's up, man? Do you use AI? I mean, a little bit, like definitely for like customer service and that kind of thing. You can also use Boxom is one of the softwares that Amazon sellers need in terms of like shipping and analytics and that kind of stuff. But Boxom also has an AI tool. And you can literally just go in and say, hey, I want to sell, a 3-pack of these t-shirts. Where's the cheapest place for me to buy these today? And it can compare and know, based on coupons and all these different ways that I, kind of go the extra mile to create margin. It knows all about that and it'll be able to kind of source products for you, suggest where to source, all that kind of stuff. So that's probably the coolest AI for Amazon sellers is the Boxom AI. But there's also like tons of like little applications, things like Whisper Flow and that kind of thing, like more general AI tools. What's up, Vanessa? Is there a course? So there's a free course up in the bio. There's also a paid community if you want to hop into that. But usually people will make their first sales and realize they want to get serious about it. And we've helped a few thousand people become profitable Amazon sellers at this point. Has Amazon ever tried to shut down your account? Twice. I've had my Amazon account down for probably a total of like 3 or 4 weeks in the past 6-7 years I've been selling on Amazon. And that was just cases where, for example, one time they wanted to see every single invoice for my most popular brand. So I literally had to pull like 2,000 invoices all at once and save that as a PDF and upload it. So it took me a second to like create that. But never like permanently banned, obviously. It's pretty normal to have like account reviews and that kind of thing. But as long as you're buying like legitimate products from legitimate retailers or wholesalers, there's not really much you can do beyond that. For sure. Yeah, I haven't heard great things about Riverbend, man. I use Seller Basics when it comes to account health and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. You could maybe try that as like a Kindle product. DA there. Definitely outside of my wheelhouse though. What's up? Sorry, you're a beginner. Sorry, I have a million questions. No, ask away. That's what I'm here for. Happy to help. For sure. How'd you get started? What was your first product? My first product was like a book, like a diet cookbook that I bought from a thrift store, because that's actually the first stuff I started selling. And then later realized that selling name brand stuff was a lot easier. And the first one of those it was like a Penn State, like off-brand, like Lego helmet type thing. I maybe I need to buy one or something like that at this point to have it as a memento, buy it back and make some money for a different reseller, go full circle on it. For sure. Let's see. How do you generate sales? Do you set up a storefront? Yeah, good question, man. So the way it's going to work is, let's say I don't have I should have had like something that I like an example product. Let's say you want to sell a bottle of vitamins, right? When you list it on the listing, as long as your price and your shipping speed is the same as the current person winning the sales on that listing, typically the sales are going to rotate evenly between those sellers. So you don't need to like buy ads or like promote your storefront or anything like that. You just need to list products that already sell well on Amazon. Now that's different from some people do buy ads, but those are typically people who are creating their own brand, their own product, their own packaging, shipping things from China, all that kind of stuff, which is another good way to make some money, but just not what I do. For sure. You'd be lucky to profit. Definitely, yeah. If you're profiting 450 from 2.5 million, your margins are awesome. Yeah, I shoot for about 10% net margin after I pay my team to do all the work, after all my software, all that kind of stuff. If you're around like a 20% gross margin, you have a pretty healthy business. And then it's up to you how you want to, if you want to spend a bunch of money to hire it out and lower your margins, that's what I like to do. So I can just kind of sit back and be a more of a legitimate business owner rather than just like hustling. Or you can do a bunch more work yourself and obviously keep a lot more profit. Let's see. Are you an affiliate or do you need to be? Amazon affiliate's like a completely different way to sell on Amazon. Or not. It's not even selling on Amazon. It's like promoting other people's products, which I know is like a popular thing these days. Actually, my fiance does a little bit of Amazon affiliate, that kind of thing. But it's more of like a side hustle kind of thing. I haven't really seen anyone making like significant money like you can with like actually selling this stuff. But don't let that stop you. Main thing, main thing is start something that makes money. I honestly don't care what you do. I'm here obviously sharing what works for me, but start something that works for you. Don't just sit around and be okay with making no side income. Everybody kind of needs that these days. Has Amazon ever lost your shipment? Did you get reimbursed? Yeah, Amazon's gonna lose shipments. It's just part of scaling. You'll just submit your documentation to get reimbursed. And these days, they'll reimburse you based on your costs. And if your costs are lower than what if your costs are higher than what they reimburse, then you can upload to like prove that you paid more than they think you did. Let's see. Do you ever buy early to be the first one in stock when the price recovers? Not if I don't. It's very rare that I'm going to buy something that's not profitable right now. I think that's another big thing that some new sellers will like fall into is, especially coming into Christmas or maybe a Valentine's Day product right now where it's not profitable and they buy it and it's like, oh, I bet the price is going to go up before Christmas. Like there's way too many things that are profitable right now to make it worth like the risk of buying something that might be profitable in the future. But then again, there's also people whose entire business is only buying items and speculating that the price might go up. Obviously, those are usually like little more experienced sellers than like just getting started. But there's a lot of different ways to go about it for sure. No, Grasshopper. As a new seller, is Keepa a must or is SellerAmp enough? I mean, Keepa's you're definitely going to want to have Keepa for like variations data and Keepa product finder and that kind of stuff. But if you're super bootstrapping it, you can use just SellerAmp for like a month or two. You might end up you'll realize there's some other data that'll be helpful to have though. For sure. Do you have a mentorship with you directly? So I don't do any like formal mentorship or anything like that. I do occasional calls, and you can also shoot me a DM. Roadmap members, if you want to need any help or anything like that, I can do one-on-one DM help and all that kind of stuff. Amazon charges like 85% in fees. It's about 30 is typical. Although some days it can feel like 85%. It can definitely feel like 85 sometimes, but yeah, typical breakdown. Let's say you sell a product for $100. Usually you spent $50 on that product. You're going to pay about $30 to Amazon, and then you're going to gross your gross profit will be around $20. Yeah. Sweet. Let's see. Let me know what other questions you guys got here. Good vibes for sure. Once again, if you guys want to learn all this stuff for free, kind of all in one place, if you're on Instagram or TikTok, check out my bio. There's a free course with like items that are auto ungated and a list of like where I source from. Also videos that show you how I source and kind of all the tactical stuff. So only so much we can share here on a 30-minute live stream. So if you guys are on YouTube, that'll be down below. How accurate is Boxom's analytics? It's the most accurate of any tool we've tested on the market, but the way that Amazon sends data means that no analytics tool can be 100% perfect. It's usually within like a couple percent. That's why it's important, like for tax season, you can just download your report at the end of the year and then combine it with what Boxom says your cost of goods sold is and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Go-tos for sourcing vitamins. I mean, the obvious ones are where I typically source, honestly, most categories, kind of just like the first things you'll think of. Like a lot of vitamins I'll source from like Walgreens, VitaCost, iHerb, Vitamin Shop, like stuff like that. I think people think that reselling is a lot more about like, finding random tiny websites that have really good pricing. It's more so about learning what are the best prices that the big websites offer with who have a ton of stock, and then going crazy and buying a bunch when that particular sale is back, or your best brand at that website's on a really good sale from there and that kind of thing. For sure. Do you find most of your sales via any particular social media? I like the question, man. Usually email is the way to go. So just like sign up for the spam email list or whatever from a bunch of like retailers, and then they'll be sending out info on where to like what coupons and that kind of stuff are going on. Let's see. How much do you need to start? At least $1,000. More comfortable if you have like 2,000. So what's up? iHerb works for ungating? Yeah, for sure, man. Any legit retailer will work. Some of them will work better than others based on how they format their invoices, but I've used pretty much every retailer. Email would have thought that's outdated. No, I mean, there's still like, in terms of like finding the sales to source, like it's the best way to know. Like you can email say, hey, Nautica 20% sale today. And so I'll go to a Nautica listing on Amazon, open up SellerAmp, look at all the other Nautica listings that those sellers who sell that item sell, and then you'll have a big list of things that's already working for other arbitrage sellers. What inspired you to do retail arbitrage? Just watching some videos of, about 6-7 years ago, and then just kind of stumbled into selling some name brand stuff. Originally started selling books and realized that selling name brand stuff's a lot easier. For sure. Can you make a detailed guide on getting started? Yeah, just check out the free course on that, Andreas. Yeah, so all of you guys, trying to get started, that kind of thing. If you just Google Fields of Profit free course, there's a video. I have a 4-hour long free video on YouTube, and then there's also like an 1.5 hour long version. So depending on how much detail you want, you can watch one of those, and you'll see a lot of the basics, basically. How do they accept your receipts? You thought stores weren't allowed? Yeah, it's a pretty common misconception. I sold on Amazon for like a year before I knew that you could buy from like regular stores. But yeah, as long as you just like keep track of, basically, like I have an Excel sheet where there's the ASIN that we purchased, and then with some other information, it's also like the order number. So I'll know exactly what order every product I bought from. So if Amazon ever wants documents or anything like that, it's just easy to search that spreadsheet and pull up the invoices and that kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, for sure, man. Why not 2.5 a month? I like how you're thinking, man. We'd need to hire some more help and that kind of thing. Obviously capital would be a limiter. Not really where I can spend $1 million a month on inventory right now. Let's see. Video on YouTube call. Yeah, just look up Fields of Profit free course. I'll show you how to do everything there. You can scroll through everything diecast if you really it's normal to be skeptical of things on the internet, man. Let's see. Do you buy from Ross, Marshalls, etc.? A little bit, yeah. And that's like one of the easiest places to find it's like some of your first leads. It's just hard to scale buying from like Ross and Marshalls and that kind of thing, because maybe they have 5, 10, 20 of them on the shelf. The way I do it buying online, there's usually a lot more. There's 100, or they might have 2,000 in stock on the website, that kind of thing. For sure. Let's see. How do you track your leads? No, you don't really need to set like alerts and stuff. So in terms of like restocking, we'll check our Boxom analytics once a week or so, restock everything that we're selling out on. That's like the easiest place to start. And then the other way you'll end up restocking products is when a certain sale or coupon, that kind of thing, comes back, and then I'll go to my sheet where I track everything we buy, and I'll just filter down to that. So let's say there's the 25% coupon at Walgreens is back. Okay, let me filter down everything I've ever sourced from Walgreens, and hey, maybe 25-30% of those items are still good, so I'll restock them and go from there. For sure. Ever tried dipping into wholesale? I've done maybe $500,000 to $1 million in wholesale. $1 million would probably be a high estimate. I'd say probably like $500,000 lifetime I've done wholesale, but yeah, it's just not the. I just like running an online arbitrage business more. Run a business you actually enjoy running. That's the whole point, right? Like, if you want to do something you don't like doing, you can go get a job that pays you a lot of money. Point of running your own business is to do your thing you want. Let's see. How much do you need to invest before you see results? Like that, I mean, you can spend $10 and sell that product if you want. You could also spend $10,000. Just start with whatever you can afford to spend on. Spend what you can afford to lose, right? Like, if you have $1,000 to your name, probably don't spend all your $1,000 like randomly buying stuff, right? Like, spend $20, see how it goes, and that kind of thing. For sure. Do you offer paid one-on-one? I don't do paid one-on-ones or anything like that. But we have a paid community if you want to level up and that kind of thing. You can also just learn a bunch of the basics for free on the YouTube and the free course. For sure. What's all at Amazon up to? Yeah, Garrett's doing good. He's still on streams and stuff with us on YouTube and that kind of thing often, man. Yeah. They're doing a lot of like wholesale and that kind of stuff these days. Absolutely. Where do you buy the scanner? If you're like scanning like stuff in real life, just use your phone. Yeah, you can just pull out the SellerAmp app, scan the barcode, show you what it sells for, how fast it sells, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you don't really need like a separate barcode scanner. Where's the free course? Yeah, if you guys are on TikTok or Instagram, it's up in my bio. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, down here is the free course. Sweet. It's probably a good place to wrap up for the day. Good vibes on the stream though for sure. Appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out. Kind of next steps if you're kind of getting more serious about this. If you're brand new, I know been a bunch of you guys on TikTok. Lots of good questions on YouTube and that kind of stuff. So appreciate you guys. But go grab SellerAmp and Boxom to like actually run the business, and then set a goal to spend a little bit of money on products as fast as you can. Just get the ball rolling, see how it goes. I mean, you can learn all the basics and like tactically how to source on the YouTube, and then just going from there, right? So that's the main thing: is set yourself a goal to spend $50 if that's what you got to spend, or $1,000 if you got plenty of money to get going right now. Yeah, good to see you guys today though. You guys have a good rest of your day.